We're on. Are we on air? We're on. We're on air. What's up, guys? Max Uhas here, and I'm shooting this. I gotta go off on a little bit of a tangent here, so just bear with me. And if you don't like curse words, just don't watch this. Okay, I'm tired of the term starving artist. Okay, I think there's something so initially and like mentally screwed up about it, and I was talking to a buddy of mine, and this is kind of which is like prompted this video, right? I was having a conversation with a product, right? I'm launching a training product for marketing for artists, and it's going to be it's going to teach everything that art school did not teach you, basically how to succeed. Because there's one thing to know how to create, right? And then there's another thing to know how to sell. You have to have a little bit of both. You know what I mean? I know like one side of the brain and the other side of the brain. Most artists have a hard time selling their own work. Anyway, that's what this whole training thing is going to be on. But initially speaking, right? Like when you think of the word artist, right? There's and it's so screwed up culturally and just on a society level to where like you think automatically broke or struggling or get where when somebody says artist, for some reason this image of struggle and I don't want to say failure, but just like you don't most people don't associate artists with success, right? When you think like, oh, this person is a businessman, you think success, right? Such and such runs their own business, they must be successful. When you think, oh, such and such develops, they're in computers, they develop this, they develop that, well, they're obviously going to be successful. And the thing about it is that like, but when you think artist, you're like, you think street artist, you think you don't, there's so many creative, and that's the other thing. So it's almost like I want to stop using the word artist. You know what I mean? And I, just bear with me here because this might go on for a while. Um, the term artist, it's almost like psychologically you want to put starving in front of it. You don't think of successful artists. You think of almost a sub race of humans to where it's like you're basically below working class because working class people make a minimum wage, right? But when you think of artists, you think of like, hey, you're creative, do something for me. Hey, you're creative, do. But realistically, it's like if you're that much of a creative person, you should be able to create and get paid for it. It's like people get paid millions of dollars for great ideas. And it's like, and you as a creative person, as an artist, you know what I mean, as a creative person, you create. It's almost like the female body. The female body can create life, right? I know I watched all three of my when my kids my kids were born, I watched my wife literally create life and birth life, and I love all three of my kids, and like without my wife, without that physical interaction there, we wouldn't have the beautiful kids that we have. But you create life when you're an artist, when you're a creative person, you create things, you make something that nobody else can do. Because every artist is different, every creative person is different. Whether you're doing film, whether you're doing video, whether you're doing just graphic design, whether you're a painter, whether you're a sculptor, you could do fashion, you could do whatever. Hell, man, people that do really cool makeup and anything that has anything to do with creative, you should get paid for it, right? Because if you're creating, if you're adding to somebody else's life, it's almost like a movie star. Good movie stars, like you pay money, they get paid millions of dollars to do what? To memorize some lines and to get into character and get behind the camera and say some words or drive a car or get in an action scene or something. But you feel them. You feel them. Okay? And a good piece of art can do the same thing. but on much more of a soul level compared to, you know, the ADHD movie format that is today, where it's action and everything else. You know, don't get me started on that. But when you can create stuff, you create something that's long lasting and impactful on somebody's life. You know, if you think about the artist that created the Nike logo, right? And I think the story is she got paid shit. She got paid peanuts for that, and didn't have the right paperwork, didn't have the right contract. And the Nike logo is owned by Nike, which I think they paid her, you know, $100, $500, $1,000 for. And that logo is well known around the world. You know what I mean? Every logo that you see for any company out there that you're aware of, Facebook, you know, somebody designed that thumbs up like logo that we all know. You're creative. You create things. Get paid for it. Okay? Get paid for it and feel good about it, because you have a talent and you have an ability that nobody else has. Nobody else has. Nobody out there can create the same thing that you do. Okay? And I don't care if you light box it and trace it. You know, people are not photocopiers. You know what I mean? Like you're not just gonna. You're creating your own version of how you see things. And there's something so beautiful about that it's like, why would that be less than anything else? You know, to be able to create, to be able to basically inspire or create. You know, notice how I'm using the word create a whole lot, because that's what you are. When you create stuff, you create beauty, and you can create ugly, and you can create feelings and emotions and everything else. So it's like, why the fuck would you choose to struggle or just settle for less than what you're really worth? It makes zero sense. But then it makes total sense, because society values artists as like less. Fuck that. You can judge any culture on its art. You know, the Renaissance, right? Times were good, art was plentiful. Times are great. Okay. And I know that there's all this world strife nonsense and all this fear media going on around the world, but that doesn't matter, because it's not real. You know, when you've got people that are making millions and millions and billions of dollars, and you're settling for penny or for just crumbs, there's no reason for that. There's no reason for, I mean, obviously it's a craft and it's a trade. It's like anything. You know, if you want to go to be a professional athlete, like you have to sacrifice things, and you got to train harder than most people ever train to get great at your position or great at your sport. Art's no different. So it's, if you're an artist, right, you're sitting there going, well, what the fuck is wrong with me? How come I'm broke? You know, some of it has to do with what you know. Some of it has to do with what you believe, and a lot of what you believe is wrong, because there are super successful artists, and then there's a shit ton of people that view their creative ability and creative talent as a lesser talent. You know, it's almost like, I'm really good at organizing paperwork and clicking buttons on a monitor or on a keyboard, and that pays me 30 grand a year. And that's living, you know, standard living, I guess, income for some people. You know, and I mean, then there are people out there, shit, man, 30 grand a year is a lot of money. It's really not. It's really not. You know, artists should be able to make 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, because you create. you create. We're blasted every day with advertisements and logos and this and that. And it's like, why aren't we blasted with art? I don't want to do corporate sponsorships. I want to create my own shit and have people or really just inspire people to create their own. And rather than like bow down to logos and brand names, it's like create your own, be your own brand, be your own person, be your own individual, create your own stuff and get paid for it. Build a following around that. Build around, stop following what everybody else is doing. And this just may sound like craziness to some of you, but for some of you guys, you may actually get what I'm talking about. That's it, man. I'm done. But it's if you're a creative person, realize your full potential, your unbelievable potential. Realize that you have so much power within you. So much power within you. Because you create. You create. And there aren't too many people that actually create. Most people just, oh, that's cool. They don't get it. I get it. You get it. Embrace your creativity and get paid for it. If you like this video, comment, share, whatever. Do what you want with it. I'm going to teach artists how to get paid. It's Max Uhas, and I'm out.